Okay, we can start. Okay. So, everyone, welcome to 1067 meeting of Karachi Toastmasters. Thank you all for joining us. Apologies for the 15 minutes delay. Ever since we started acting on our president's recommendation, we started bang on time, except today, because our equipment was under siege and still is under siege by the hotel because of the examinations going on here. But hopefully we'll make up for lost time and the meeting will make it all worth it. So without further ado, let us invite our Honorable President, DTM Sarfraz, to the stage. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, DTM Talha and fellow Toastmasters. Good to see you once again. I saw DTM Imran run a few minutes ago. He was looking good, and now I see DTM Saad Shoaib. You're looking good too.
Thank you, sir.
Some of you may have heard the Toastmasters International Annual Convention is going on in the Bahamas. And I said in their honor, we were pausing for a few minutes. Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar, are you with us? I'm going to see if the Toastmaster Asghar can hear us. So, DTM Talha, are we good with the setup and ready to go, or we want to pause for a few minutes?
Sir, I think we should continue and improvise as we go along.
Okay. Are there any guests?
Not any guests here.
Okay,
all members.
Okay, so I won't go into details. Well, I wonder why we go over the history of Toastmasters International. That may be a tradition in D122 or KTC, because I've never come across a Toastmaster who said, I went to a meeting for the first time and they went over the history and I liked the history so much that I joined Toastmasters. It is always the speeches. They said what they liked about the meeting was the warm welcome, how they were treated. That's one reason why they joined. The other is the speeches. They said, hey, I could see how well they were speaking and I want to speak like that. And that's where they joined. So I won't waste too much time going over the history, but Toastmasters International Convention is always held in August. Sometime later on, they have not started the board of directors meeting. I just checked in a few minutes. When you get a chance, if you give me the host privileges, because I want to test and see if I can share.
Yes, here you will get it. You should now be able to share the screen.
Okay, so they're showing it's 8 minutes. The reason am I asking, then 4 o'clock in the morning, Pakistan time is the Hall of Fame, and that's when you'll see District 122 bringing in the Pakistan's flag from outside the hall. They'll walk around the room and then place the flag on the stage along with the flags of all other countries where Toastmasters clubs exist. And then there'll also be recognition of all various awards, including distinguished districts around the world. And even though members have the option of registering for free, so you can see the Hall of Fame, but I'll send out a link. I would like to watch it as a KTC watch party. And if that works, if the streaming works during Hall of Fame, then we'll do that for the semifinals and the World Championship on Saturday. There's others, some of the people in other districts are also doing this, streaming it. I know Toastmasters International probably prefers that each person register on their own, but I'll try that during the Hall of Fame. It was so nice to attend the Karachi Toastmasters Club Tall Tales contest. We had 6 contestants. The first place went to Toastmaster Fahim Razak. I think he's in the room with you. Second place went to Toastmaster Karim Ghani. He's not with us at the moment. And third place went to one of our newest members, Toastmaster Fiza.
Yes, he's right there.
And I guess we have Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir with us. He was the contest master, and he was conducting this contest as part of his DTM project. And in a few minutes, we'll be hearing from him. He'll be giving a speech, or the second speech about the DTM project. I want to welcome our regular guest, Toastmaster Deanna McEnroy. She'll be posting something for that we can, someone in the room can read during the table topic session. We also would like to welcome our returning guest, Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. And also congratulations, Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. And thank you for taking the task of being the corporate relations chairperson for the district, helping District 122 get some more corporate clubs. In my personal opinion, it is easy to form corporate clubs than community clubs, especially if you can get the buy-in or the support of management and executives of a corporation. Welcome to Toastmaster Vose. You can now verify that the meeting is taking place, because for a moment you were concerned if we are meeting or not. And we also have with us Toastmaster Hibak Rais Khan. She was also one of the contestants in the Tall Tales contest. Is our Toastmaster of the day in the room?
Yes.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I won't be going over. The purpose of Toastmaster Club is to help members improve their communication skills in a friendly environment. I've heard people say that I get nervous. That's okay, especially in a Toastmasters meeting. I have never come across any member or Toastmaster in a Toastmasters meeting who says, hey, I want the speaker to fail. No, everyone is there for the same purpose, helping each other become better speakers. So if you have to fail or make mistakes, Toastmasters meeting is the best place to do that. And you learn, especially by getting feedback, not only from your evaluator, sometimes you get feedback from other members of the club. At this time, it is my honor to introduce to you the Toastmaster of today's meeting. And I assume the flyer was made by DTM Talha, the one that has pictures, says little habits that matter. I like the theme. Little habits can have a ripple effect. One of the habits I would like to see change, or some people in KTC adopt, is to start attending. There are few members who attend meetings on a regular basis, but there's some that you see them once in a blue, and there's some that have never attended a meeting. So instead of just reading the posts on WhatsApp and looking at the best speaker or people who have competed and won first, second, third place in the contest, saying, oh, congratulations, congratulations. It would be nice if some of you show up also in the meeting, and that's one of the little habits you might want to adopt. And at this time, look at the picture of our T-Mod. Please welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ali Hussain Babar.
So almost everyone here believes in the power of self-help, the power of physical habits that can make a difference in our life. So since all believe in the creative power, I mean, that is the reason we did not plan a mid-weekend try session with the parents. We did not go for a hangout, rather we landed here at the spot. Then, it is very important in how to our way to success. The little habit that I'll be sharing with you will not only help you craft the way to success, it will also help you to get onto the path of success and then ultimately reach the destination. And if I were to ask you a little question, talking about the discipline, what do you all think is the key habit that would help you build discipline in your daily life? Anyone?
Time management.
Time management.
Be disciplined.
That was the card. Anyone from the online session?
The Toastmaster of the evening is not audible properly.
Is it audible to everyone else? Is he audible to everyone? No, it's not because we are getting messages. Okay. Let me. The sound source is changed, that's fine. Let us fix it. Yes. Now I think they should be audible. Please speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I think
Okay.
it's good.
So, like I have tried different recipes to the habit of adopting discipline in our daily life. But one thing that actually worked for me was the one described by that Toastmaster. What's his name? Toastmaster Faz. So I think that is the one that is very practical and that you can easily adopt in your daily life. Slightly different opinion. Mine is like what you have to do is for the upcoming day, you should ideally write the top 3 things that you plan to do in the next day. That is a very simple technique. If you follow that, you don't have to think and prioritize the task the very next day. And based on that, you'll be more disciplined, more on your toes, and it will be easier for you to fulfill the task for that very day. As we move along with the sessions, I will be sharing little habits that help me and probably will help you as well. And to achieve your dream job or dream career, that will be very helpful. Moving on to the segments that we will be covering today. Finally, you all can see me now, hear me now, and I can see you all perfect. So, moving on to the segments that I'll be covering as a Toastmaster of the day. Initially, the very first segment that we'll be having will be the prepared speakers. We have a lineup of 7 speakers, right?
Yeah.
7 speakers with prepared speeches will come up on the stage, physical or virtual, and then present what they have prepared. Secondly, one of the most interesting segments would be the table topic session. In that session, we will all have impromptu session. We will be given topic and we will have to speak on our toes on the given topic. Lastly, the learning part, the learning curve, I would say the most important part when it comes to public speaking. Once we have seen the speeches, when we have heard the speeches, when we have seen all the projects, these will be evaluated by seasoned Toastmasters. And based on that, you will get to know what were the strengths of the project and speeches, and then what were the areas of improvement. I think that will be the best takeaway for all of you. Before we move on to the segments, I would like to introduce my team of facilitators for today, and they will be helping me out in conducting my role as Toastmaster of the day. They will have their responsibilities and they'll be presenting their reports based on their assigned job. So, for facilitators, first of all, I have the role of chameleon, and to describe the role of chameleon, I would like to call upon PM Imran to describe his role and let us know more about the chameleon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master of the Day, for the Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, my role is to note down the incorrect usage of grammar and some good usages of grammar and sentences as well. In the end, I'll present my report without mentioning the name, the correct use of grammar, And along with that, I have another row of word transfer. In today's word is, since the theme of today's meeting is,
Little habits that matter.
yes. So the word of the day is quite resemble the theme of the meeting, that is ripple. The meanings of ripple is a small wave, a sound like that of rippling. I'll give you example of meaning of metaphorical meanings of the ripple is when you drop a stone in water that waves created. That is called ripple effect. So use the word of the day as many times as possible, and in the end, I present my report. So use the word and how many times the word is being used by this. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. That was his role as comedian and as well as wordmaster. My second facility would be the virtual timer. And for that, I would like to call upon Mr. Wasit Ahmed. Are you with us?
Yeah.
Please turn on the camera and let us know more about your role. PM Wasit, are you with us?
Toastmaster Vase, are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be playing the role of the timer. I guess, right? Yeah. I'll be playing the role of the timer. So I'll be timing the online participants on usually for normal prepared speeches, which is 5 to 7 minutes. On 5, I'll be showing the green. Then I have the yellow, and on red, you will have 30 seconds to finish the speech, and that same goes for the table topics. On that, the timing will be from 2 to 3 minutes. On 2, I'll be showing the green. On 2:30, I'll be showing the yellow, and on 3, I'll be showing the red. And for the evaluation session, on evaluation session, on 2, I'll be showing the green. On 2:30, yellow, and on 3, I'll be showing the red. And for table topics, it will be from 1 till 2. On 2, I'll be showing the red. That's from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wasit. Now I would like to call upon TM Star to explain his role as vote counter.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vijay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my role as the vote counter would be to ask for votes after each and every segment of the meeting. So after the prepared speeches, after the table topic, after the prepared speech evaluation, and at the end, after the big four are done. So you will all need to vote. Me as the vote counter can't vote unless there's a tie. Only then I'll be able to break the tie, and yes, I only accept cash. So back to the Toastmaster.
That was Toastmaster Star. Now, one interesting role to be performed by Toastmaster Counter. He will let you know more about his role as our counter. Over to Toastmaster Asher. Toastmaster Asher, are you with us? Can you hear me? With the picture that seems like to be camera is also on.
Very.
Yes, I just arrived. I need you to repeat what you're saying for me.
Introduce yourself as in the capacity of our counter.
I will try my best, I promise, to air everyone and find out words or just expressions which are not necessarily the part of the formal speech, and I will try to reproduce them in the end of the meeting, such as ooh, you know, yes, for that matter, etc.
Thank you. So, and the last facilitator for today, with one interesting role, would be the role of listener. For that purpose, I would like to call upon PM Fahim Razak to explain his role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and good evening, everyone. My role as a listener would be to listen for the interesting bits and pieces, speeches, and the table topic. And at the end, I'll be quizzing the members for here and online, and that's that. So keep your ears out for the interesting bit. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. That was my team for today. They'll be helping me out in explaining the role of Toastmaster of the day. Moving on to the really interesting and learning-oriented session for today. That will be the prepared speeches. We have a great lineup of 7 speakers that will be giving.
Excuse me? Am I being forgotten?
Start off, we have one.
PM
speaker.
Ali? Am I being forgotten? The joke master?
I'm back after 2 years. So
How dare you?
from my side.
That's
Yes,
not an
how dare you?
Toastmaster. Okay, so before we move on to the formal segment of prepared speeches, we would like to have the joke from Joke Master of the Day. Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba, in your round.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what did the spider do on the computer? What did the spider do on the computer?
To the web, went to the web.
Web designing.
It made a website.
Same thing.
Yes. How do oysters call their friends? How do oysters call their friends? On cell phone.
Oh,
Cell phone.
right.
Why did the skeleton send Valentine's Day card? Why did the skeleton send why did the skeleton send Valentine's Day card? Someone? Anyone?
It was missing a heart.
Something like that. His heart wasn't in it. Have you heard the rumor about butter? Have you heard the rumor about butter? Never mind, I shouldn't be spreading it. Okay. Did you hear about the guy who cut off the left side of his body? Did you hear about the guy who cut off the left side of his body? He's all right now. And the last one, what did the beach say when the tide came in? What did the beach say when the tide came in?
Hello, old friend.
A long time no see. Over to the
Oh.
Toastmaster of the evening.
Wonderfully done, great refreshing session by Toastmaster Hiba. Now moving on to the segment of prepared speeches. Starting off with the first in line, the seasoned Toastmaster. I have been learning to and listening from at least 5+ years. That is Toastmaster Mohammed Asghar, and sharing the details of his project. He will be presenting the speech on the pathway leadership development level 4. The project is managing projects successfully. The title of the speech is patient transfer service. For the timer, the time of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. PM Asghar, are you with us? Okay,
Yes.
great. Over to PM Asghar in your round of applause.
Also announce the evaluator in case the evaluator doesn't know.
His evaluator is going to be an Imran.
Yes.
Can someone allow me to share the screen? Because
Who's
I have some
manipulating
slides to
For
show.
no reason. Not knowing that Toastmaster Asghar is online and not.
PM Imran.
Okay. Yes. Okay, sir. You can. Over to you.
Why I never learn these things?
Can you see the timer, Toastmaster Asghar?
Yes, but I can't see the background. I can't
sir,
see
can you-
my.
It's Toastmaster Vase. It's Toastmaster Vase. We can see your screen. You're muted, sir. Would be. See, creating humor even before he starts the speech.
I
Only
always-
Toastmaster that. Great. So we just saw your presentation.
Okay. My presentation visible to everyone?
Oh, no DM is there. Oh,
Yes,
Sorry?
but you, yeah, now we can. Yeah,
Okay. Should I start now?
slideshow.
yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. Dear Toastmasters and guest, let me identify let me begin by identifying two entities, IMF and World Bank, to make sense of my presentation come speech, which is about managing a project successfully. IMF focuses on macroeconomic and financial stability, so to speak, and it does deal only with federal government. On the other hand, World Bank concentrates on long-term economic development and poverty reduction related program. It operates at provincial level. Among many other activities, World Bank has many projects in Balochistan related to health sector. Currently, it has started its program in 4 far-flung districts adjacent to Afghanistan under the nomenclature of investing human capital. Recently, it had an advertised on newspaper about these projects that it needs a implementing partner and wants to implement its program. So TM Asgar fits into the bill because TM Asgar is running currently a project related to ambulances. So we decided to apply for this project so that we can run it, because it is very much similar to the project that we are already running. But there were certain procedures. For example, we need to take a NOC from the government for my project. And we are working with the government, and in the government, you are treated just class 2 student. You need advice, you need approval, even going for a washroom. You cannot go a washroom without raising your little finger. Then comes the signing of agreement for this project. After obtaining this NOC, we applied as vendor, won this contract, and then signed our agreement with the World Bank representative here in Quetta to seal it. Next was the acceptance speech on the launching ceremony, which I had prepared and delivered here in this very stage before applying or before going to the stage in real scenario. Frankly, this is one of the reasons that I like Toastmaster Club and its program and its resources, its project, because it is sort of prepared us for our career. This is one of the living example. I am rather the living example how this club is preparing me for my job. The next followed by the inauguration ceremony. We inaugurated this program with in the presence of the representative of World Bank and our very honorable Minister Health in Quetta. after the acceptance speech that I delivered that day. And after that, we sat there with a promise that all stakeholders are united with an understanding that we need to be an equal partner in our success, as equally as we are a partner in our failure. Once we concluded this ceremony, we went on ground in our implementation phase. The aim of this whole program is to strengthen the government existing structure of providing facilities of reproductive health to the rural women, mostly migrated from Afghanistan, and those do not have the capacity or the ability or the facility of even dismal standard of their counterpart in the same locality in all those districts. As we speak, we are successfully managing this project to the best of our abilities and reporting to the bank for the progress almost every week. This is how I came up with our latest project, with the example that how successfully I'm managing it. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Go for it. Now it isn't. Okay, there's a slide here in the line. Next speaker would be Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. He is here to present his project for DTM, second project as DTM. The duration of his speech is 10 to 15 minutes for the time of the note. And okay, 5 to 7 minutes for the timer. And the speech title is War, Movies, Fantasy, Wonderland. With this interesting title,
first pathway completed in record time of 6 months. Just give me a second. First pathway completed in a record time of the first 6 months. Second pathway took a 1 year of time. And the reason being, GQ became lazy. Literally. And he started skipping meetings. He started coming late. And the roster of KTC was being marked as an absent in front of the name of GQ. So in 2 years' time, that is till February 2022, 2 pathways were finished. But to become a DTM, there are more requirements like club sponsorship, club mentorship. So that was also taken care of by June 2022. What was left? I called up Imran Rana, our very own Chandi buddy. So what's left, Imran? What should I do? You have a DTM project. How should we go about it? First, you have to start coming to the club. Then I will tell you. So that was the condition. I came for a couple of meetings. I tried to communicate with him. What is the DTM project? How should I go about it? But things we could not come up with a DTM project. It was in the month of July. that I again started coming regularly to KTC. And both these gentlemen, Toastmaster Imran Rana and DTM Tala, told me that why don't you take a project, a tall tale, organize a tall tale contest. So that's how it all started out. So I gave a first speech before the tall tales, and then the real challenge started. How should I go and get the participants? Because there were only 4 participants who were interested in these. So I contacted most of the veteran participants, the senior participants, the senior members of Karachi Toastmasters. And yes, of course, the paid ones only. So that I had to keep in mind, that only paid participants can participate and can give a speech in this contest, tall tale contest. So net, there were total 6 participants. And another challenge started. How should we find a chief judge? So I again contacted the district trio, but they all were busy, and then few others. And then something came into mind, then why should not we look in-house? And then I asked DTM Tala, and DTM Tala was all on for it. So that's how the entire structure was put in place. But there was, can you put up the slides? I shared it with DTM Tala as well. Do we have? The email, yeah, the Gmail. I sent it on his Gmail. So let me just share some slides over here. Yeah, that's
It's very unethical to open someone's email, but what I do. Yes, it shared. Yes. No, wait. Sorry.
You have to go over there on the Zoom and then share.
Nice going, sir.
And start running as a slide. Can you do a slide over here?
I think we can just share this.
Okay. So this was the point where we had only 4 confirmed speakers, only 4 confirmed participants. And it was just 48 hours left before the contest. And we were doing a briefing session. So I had to brief all the participants as to what were the rules and how they have to, what the tall tales contest is all about, and how they have to give the speeches, and how the judges will be evaluating on the basis of the judges' ballot. So the big day came, and before that, two more participants, Toastmaster Farhan Heather, who is not there in the screen, as well as Toastmaster Vilara. They also join in, and they also agree that they will participate. So now the biggest challenge was also waiting, that how should we help the contestants and the participants in drafting the speech. So that was also taken care. Many of the contestants contacted me. I gave them a few ideas, and then they built up the speech and then performed in the contest. So next. So this is where the chief judge was giving the briefing, and he confirmed that he has briefed all the judges who were there. We don't know who they were, because we assumed that these were the audience, most of the audience, and because they did not write judge 1 and then open the camera. I wish they could have written judge 1 and then open the camera. We would have known that who is the judge. So they just agreed that they should be just writing the name. So all the judges were confidential to all the participants, that nobody knows that who was the judging it. So next we had speeches. So the speeches, we started off with some lovely movies. So participants compared Bollywood with Hollywood and Lollywood. So we saw Amitabh Bachchan, the Tom Cruise was also there, And then there was a date with Musa Khan, by one of the participants. Everybody started to envy that participant. So yes, go back, the Fahim. So Fahim basically started a war with the neighbor. And we were all amused. How can you bring horses, camels, and elephants? And we are war with your neighbor. And you don't have so many weapons. But only Fahim had a flag. He did not hold a weapon. So the results came up. Fahim was declared as the first. Second was Kareem, and third was Fiza. So congratulations to all of you. And we had a very good contest. And inshallah, more contests to continue. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ghulam Khalid. A wonderful speech, rest for you all to decide. Next speaker in lineup, we have Toastmaster, whom I used to know as the blogger, the YouTuber. Most of you know him as Toastmaster Farhan Haider.
Yeah.
He will be presenting his speech on dynamic leadership, level 2, part 1. Understand your leadership style. The speech topic is the importance of seeking permission. Speech time for the evaluator, for the timer, is 5 to 7 minutes to be evaluated by Toastmaster Wasir Ahmed or Toastmaster.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Some incidents happen in our life which we always remember until we are alive. When I was in 9th class, I used to take coaching classes. One night, after attending class, I was standing on the bus stop and waiting for the bus. It was very hot day, people sweating, hustle and bustle of traffic. Lots of passengers, boys and girls, were standing there and they were waiting for their ride. There was a big market behind the bus stop. So finally bus came. Bus was totally jam-packed. But somehow I got inside. Even I found a seat. But I was thrown off the bus because I had sat in the ladies section. So I decided that I should take a lift. After 5 minutes efforts, I saw that one biker stopped their bike on the bus stop. I was very happy that I got a lift. I ran towards bike and sat on the bike without his permission. Then the embarrassing situation happened. He went to the market and I was too confused to figure out what is going on. Then I realized that he did not give me a lift. He was the owner of the shop and he stopped their bike because he wanted to go to the shop. I was sitting like this. Then gradually I moved my head towards the stop. I saw some faces and they were laughing towards me. I was very embarrassed and I wished I could disappear into the air, but I could not do. So I got off the bike and again I went to the bus stop and again waited for the bus. From that incident, I learned a lesson that we should develop some little habits that if we ask a favor from anyone, first we ask permission that I'm going to do this, and we should not be excited too much because in excitement we make mistakes. So you guys can also adopt this habit in your daily routine to avoid this awkward condition. Furthermore, I would like to add that our habits are the reflection of our personality, whether it is good or bad. With that, I would like to conclude, I would like to end my speech with the famous quote that we cannot change our habits. We cannot change our future, but we can change our habits, and surely our habits will change our future. Over to you.
Thank you. Wonderfully crafted speech in line with today's theme. That was Toastmaster Farhan Haider. Now, I would like I will be calling on the next speaker in line, who will be presenting from the virtual stage. I haven't heard him before. Let's see how good the speech will be. You all will be the judge. He will be presenting his dynamic leadership level 5. The project is about leading in any situation. And the topic of the speech is an arrow or a flower. The length of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes to be evaluated by Toastmaster Usher. I would like to invite Toastmaster Wase Ahmed on the virtual stage for the speech.
So Toastmaster Wase, I can time your speech, provided I find my window. Where is my window, by the way? Oh, it's the same window as the TMOD. Yeah, okay. There it is. All right.
My time is 8 to 10 minutes. It's written in the
Just a second. Okay. Wase, can you see the timer? The Karachi Toastmasters Club window, can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Am I audible to everyone?
We can't hear you, Wase.
Am I audible to everyone?
Can't hear you. What did you do before? We could hear you then.
I can hear Wase.
Yeah.
I can hear Wase.
Just look
I
at the
think
inputs.
those who are online, except Beach Luxury Hotel, can hear him very well. Something is wrong with somewhere in your end, perhaps.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I think he meant you. So, like,
Wait,
nobody can hear you.
Toastmaster Asghar, can you hear Toastmaster Wase?
Yes, very clearly.
Seriously? How? He isn't speaking.
No, right now, no. He's not speaking right now. But when you are shouting at that time, when you're protesting, your protest did not have any base. So I just wanted to interrupt.
The meeting. Yes.
Toastmaster Wase,
say something.
Can you leave the? Okay, the online audience, can you hear Wase? That has to be a first in history of the universe.
Wase, try to speak something.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything.
We can hear everyone but Wase.
Wase, try to speak something now to prove yourself to DTM Tala. No, you can't. We can't hear you now. Now, here DTM Tala is right. Now, unfortunately, DTM Tala is right now.
Just leave the meeting and join back.
Yeah, log off and log on.
Yeah, yeah.
So how about we reschedule him to the end and save time?
How many people will we reschedule to the end? Everybody. If everybody is rescheduled to the end, it will be the same order. No, Latif is the evaluator.
He's not the speaker.
No, no.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I made the agenda. Let's just wait for a few seconds.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
I am audible, right?
Is he
Yes.
back?
Yes.
Yes, he is back. Vase, can you? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, can you say something, Vase, now?
DTM Talat, the timing of
Uh,
my speech is from 8 to
Wait,
10
wait,
minutes.
wait. Okay, I think we heard you. Yeah. Can you come again?
8 to 10 minutes.
All right.
Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, perfectly audible. You can go ahead. What's the duration of your project? It's 8 to 10 minutes?
Yes, 8 to 10 minutes.
All right, all right. So apologies from my side for not bothering to check the project. So yeah, over to you, Toastmaster Vase.
I saw something flying. Are we ready? Yes, right. Okay.
We just stopped hearing you, Toastmaster Vase, as soon as you started speaking.
Am I audible now?
We heard you.
Am I audible?
Yes,
We
can
heard
hear
you before,
Yes,
but
we
now
can
we
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
There is something
Oh,
wrong
online
with,
audience, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, Toastmaster
Online
Vase,
audience can, yes.
since they cannot
All
hear
right.
you, can you just act it out?
I'm not trying to separate them as everybody.
So
Can we
Toastmaster
have an
Asghar,
online timer for that if the Beach Hotel is having problem?
hear you. Okay, you start. You start. Okay. And online audience, if you stop hearing him, just come forward a little bit, because yeah. And as soon as, if online audience you stop hearing him, just point that out. All right. We'll start with the timing. Over to you, Toastmaster Vase.
Okay, fine. I saw something flying in the air. I leaped up and caught it. It was an arrow or a rose. Only time had the answer. But one thing was sure, that it was not shot by the Cupid. Same thing happened to me in September 2018, when I became the president of St. Patrick's High School Gambit Society, the Mind Sports Society. I was like, opportunity, my college application. And when I got it, it was a dilemma. Did I want it to be like my predecessors, who just organized an annual event in the whole year and took that to their college application and brag about it? Or I wanted to do something worthwhile. I knew that would be painful. So I said to myself, Vase, you have to think big. I said, how about creating world Scrabble champions? How about creating chess grandmasters? My insights again said to me, Vase, you have to think big, but practical. I went back in my memory, 6 years back from that time. 6 years back from that time, I saw an introvert playing chess, but he didn't know about the opportunities. He didn't have any facilitation. So I decided I have to pave the way for my juniors. But compared to 9 months, I only had 6 to deliver. I only had from September to February. What did I do in this 6 months of time? I hold 2 inter-schools competition, one for the seniors, one for the juniors. We competed in several external school competitions and university too. We introduced speed cubing. If you are known to the Rubik's Cube, and solving that is called speed cubing. The fourth was to organize the annual Mind Sports event, the Mind Boggle. Mind Boggle had participants from all over the city. It included students from grammar schools to missionary schools to private schools. If I'm supposed to tell you about my experience throughout this 6 months journey, I can divide it into 2 parts. First, the strategy making, and the other one, the implementation of that strategy. In the strategy making, one thing that I personally liked was my decision making, because I used to listen to every sane advice that was given to me, and then I used to take my decision. One more thing I used to do in this was to include the members in my decision making whenever I could. For example, once there was a competition IBA and Jinasan Medical University at the same date. So I gave my members the voting right, so they could decide in which did they wanted to compete. And there were similar examples. The other thing which I really learned was the marketing strategy in Mindboggle, because we had limited budget to do the marketing. So what we did was we sent emails to all the schools that we knew about. The second thing we did was send personal invites with hard posters in it. The third thing we did was send PR teams to these schools. And the fourth thing we did was to have negotiations in the school. We had trade-offs, like you send members to our school, we send members to your schools. That's what happened. I faced a major problem when it came to the interpersonal communication side, the implementation side, because I was always quite bad at it. I was really good at one-on-one communication, but when it came to talking about a group of people at the same time, I was not good at it. Whenever I had to talk to a number of people, I used to keep my talks small. I used to look down while talking to everyone, or maybe I used a proxy. I used someone else to talk instead of me. And for that, I will always be grateful for my team, the core team that helped me to get things done on the ground. And specifically the head boy and the head girl who really helped me in the Mindboggle for the groundwork. Look, if you can't communicate properly, then you clearly won't be assertive and things won't be carried out properly. So they played a great role in this. The landmark thing which I learned throughout my leadership journey of this 6 months happened to me just few weeks before the event. I received a text from a vice president of an association saying to us that can you postpone your event because a prominent school wants to hold the competition on the same date. But I did some calculations and I refused. And to be very honest, that was something big for me because I have been quite an agreeable person my whole life. Saying no was a big thing for me, and saying no to someone who is higher in the hierarchy. But and I also faced consequence of that. But as the time went by, we realized that that decision was correct because after that, because after refusing on that date, that prominent school went to holding on their event later, but they couldn't hold it because there were boards, there were mocks, and in this little window frame, two mind sports competition which has quite niche participants, two competition couldn't be held in this small window. And now, when I look back and I saw that what I was seeing in the air and I caught it, it was definitely not an arrow, but a rose with thorns in it, with thorns with it. And whose scent has brought me here so I could improve and ace the skills at which I once lacked. Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
DTM Talha, can you hear us? I think the problem is with the people in the beach luxury.
They are on mute.
DTM Talha.
Can you unmute?
Prasad, if you are the host, you can unmute him from as a the host. Not hear you, DTM Talha.
DTM Tala, you are mute. We can see you mute, being muted. DTM Tala.
You're muted, DTM Talha, we cannot hear you.
I think they are trying to figure something out because they had not turned off the timer yet as well.
You're back. Okay. Apologies, everyone. Actually, Zoom crashed. And thank God you didn't hear me while it did. So, all right. So, yeah. Now, am I audible? And is DTM
Yes.
Aliyasha Ranjum visible? Oh, okay. Let me fix that. Yes. And let me remove the virtual background. And DTM Ali is checking out the stage area. And yes, okay. Over to you, DTM Ali Asher.
We all are stuck. We all are stuck in time and space and the dimension of life. We are in a race of trade-off. Either you do this or that. Profession versus the passion, love versus the friendship, and trade-off, trade-off, trade-off. When I was a little child, I want to be accredited when the clock is 5, I rush to the playground and play cricket. But whenever it was a month of April and May, my parents don't want me to play cricket because that wasn't exam season. Why? Because they say that the time is precious. You have to choose one, education or the cricket. So I lost my cricket due to my education. And this is okay, because I'm not a good cricketer, but a good student, so it's okay. But everyone has to face this trade-off because we are trapped into the times. Either we can do this or that. Just imagine that in this trade-off, we are full of anger, depression, and that ripple effect leads to depression, anxiety. And we have to value one thing. We have to deem this that time is not a scarce resource, it is infinity. We are the one who is limited. Time was before us, and it will be here when we are not in this world. We will be not in this world. But we will be. We will be like a quantum, a packets that is stored in a time. That you will be saying that on the 16th of August at around the 8:30, Ali Asher was presenting this speech. One day, it's a fact that I will remember. But this packet of energy will restrict in your head and ripple down and stretch a smile on your face. It is going to happen. It will. But the problem is that we do not understand that we consider something important when we lose it, when we lost. We are infatuated with someone and didn't realize that we were in love with them. But we only realized when we lost them. When they became a sweet memory for us, that quantum is stored in a time. We didn't realize that time is going to come again because 9 p.m. is going to strike the clock every day. every week, every month, every year. But we are not going to create this moment. So we have to relish this moment with happiness. And that happiness is going to ripple and make us happy every time. Because we have do something very great and store that time with a beautiful memory. It's usually happened with us that we were full of anxiety, full of heavy. When it's just not when we lose him, or it's when we regret that we didn't utilize. And I was in Rome, I want to be here. But when I am here, I want to be in Rome. This is a trade-off. And I cannot be in Karachi and Rome at a single time because we are trapped in the time lapse. So those masters, we have value our time, value the people, value each and every moment, and create wonderful quantums that can bring a smile to our faces. Every moment when we say, okay, this time, that we have a great time with them, or we have utilized the time. So I have too many people. But if I know that I have a hair or something here, I don't have that. Because I know that this time is precious. That's why I went. So before it's vain, value it. That's all from my side. Over to the first master.
Balance between humor and physics. That was Toastmaster Eliasher Anjum. The second last speaker for prepared speeches. Next in line will be presenting presentation mastery level 1, part 3, vocabulary, vocal variety and body language. The topic of the speech is the secret brotherhood to be evaluated by TM Fahim Bazar. And the speech time, assigned time is 5 to 7 minutes for the speaker. This over the Toastmaster and your honor.
With some trepidation, I enter the meeting room. Shiny wooden floor, glass facades, fancy LCD. And around me, beautiful, sharp-suited, well-groomed, expensively dressed. Feeling the worst, I started to sweat. I was trembling. My feet were trembling. And I could see that there was a slight ripple of unease when I entered the room. People started whispering like this. And then I saw something familiar. Something that was comfortable. Something that was like home. And then all the unease, all the strangeness started to dissolve away. I saw one face. That one familiar face. He started to walk. High forehead, glasses, but above all, a beard like mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a beard in the house. I had an ally in my secret brotherhood. We looked at each other. We passed silent, knowing nods. We knew that as soon as we'll hear the azan, we pretend to fidget and try to get up, but we'll have actually no plans to catch the Jamaat. And then we'll sit around talk for 15 minutes about how bad it was to miss the Jamaat. My beard saw the other beard. They started having a conversation of their own. Wow, you're so long and shiny and silken. How did you get to be so? Oh, my owner takes very good care of me. He keeps me well ventilated. He shampoos me on a daily basis. In fact, he has a special conditioner just for me. Look at me, how I shine. Oh, that's why. I wish my owner was like yours. He has dandruff. And he has 3 daughters whose heads are full of lice. And those lice, they make the jump to his beard. And he scratches at them like this. And then the skin falls off in ugly flakes. It is so disgusting. I wish I was never born. Hey, have you reported him to the Beards Protection Authority? Is there such an authority? Of course. How come you do not know about it? Oh, my owner watches nothing but Netflix. Anyhow, how do I report him? I need to report him. Well, his phone's front camera has already scanned his face, and it has detected your ill health and misery. And it has called the cops on you. So just stand by. Hear the sirens. And the door bursts open, and brandishing razors. And they all jump at me. Oh, I had dozed off. I was dreaming. Beards talking? Come on. But I discovered that I had woken up to a great enlightenment. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I had dozed off. And I had confirmed all the stereotypes about bearded people in those 5 minutes. Said one fancy suit. Oh, all of them are alike. They do nothing, just doze off. A fancy bird screamed at me. You are a terrorist and lazy as well. We all know about you. A gleaming phone kept on the table, whispered to me, loser. My beard looked helplessly at the other beard, and the other beard turned itself away, hung itself in shade. The secret brotherhood had broken. And fellow Toastmasters guests, at that point in time, I began to wonder, was it such a crime? I could hear whispers going around the conference room. One of the participants whispered to another, Maulana Sahab had gone to sleep. Must be feeling so long. And they made sure it was audible. And I started to wonder, which crime was greater? Me dozing off, or me having a beard?
If someone without a beard had dozed off, they would have become super cool suddenly, and they would have laughed about it. They would have made jokes. But here I was, already under the burden of 1,000 crimes, because when you have a beard, everyone has a problem with you. Even other beards have a problem with you because you're either not long enough or short enough. And I wonder, would my life be better if I did not have a beard? Over to you, Toastmaster.
So that was another speech slightly in line with little habits that were. Moving on to the last speaker of the day. That is going to be none other than the Toastmaster of the day himself. I'll be presenting my speech on presentation math, on engaging humor, level 4. It's a lecture project. It's about managing a difficult audience. And the evaluator is going to be DTM Aliya. The speech time is going to be 10 to 15 minutes. And then the speech level is the brain changing effects of daily work. Over to Toastmaster.
Who's planning? Okay. Okay.
I wanted to tell you, you could do one thing, even right here, right now, that could impact your brain, your mind positively. It could even help you to improve your memory, your mood, your focus, your attention. It could even help you undo the effects of anxiety, depression, and stress. Would you be interested in doing that? Yes. Okay, great. I will start with the major parts that are affected by the exercise once we go for exercise. So starting off with the prefrontal cortex, the part right behind our forehead, this is responsible for our thinking, for our attention. Secondly, the temporal lobes, and thirdly, the substance in between the interesting part, that is gray and white matter. And lastly, the hippocampus, right in the middle of our brain. Ever thought what makes us relive the moment? Like once we have lived a happy moment, how we are able to recall it and then relive it again? It happens because of the hippocampus. So once you exercise, these all parts are impacted as a result of exercise. They actually grow in size, in mass, in weight. And the best part is it is not temporary. This increment in weight continues. Maybe you can come in. Okay. So these parts are directly impacted by the exercise that you do. As a result, these are permanently increased in size, and this is not confined to the period of time that you exercise, that you work out. Secondly, moving on to the added benefits that we have when it comes to the exercise. How it impacts your mood. So what happens is it actually releases 3 main hormones in your brain that make you feel.
Yes. Right. I know. No. I know what hormones are you talking about. Endorphins?
Let him contribute to the speech.
And yeah, something resembling that. Pepsine, I don't know.
Half doctor does that will consider at the end. And that is like the main hormone. If you let me complete now, that works.
So be my guest, buddy. I'm not stopping you. Did I stop him? No. In fact, I'm supporting you. I'm all for you, my bro.
I need your support. That's really good support for now. Appreciate that. Okay, so, or if you have anything else, you have a chance to speak.
You continue. I'll think of something.
Then I will give you a chance at the end to speak. Does that work for you?
All right.
So these are the three hormones: the oxytocin, the serotonin, and the dopamine. What these are like all together released once you go for the workout, and these make you liberated, levitated, and accelerated.
Like telling us dopamine or vectors.
Hormone when you feel. For now, keep that released once you work out. As per the research conducted by Michigan University, the research study shows that it also helps you improve your attention span. So if PM Saab has something productive to contribute, wonderful contribution. Appreciate your contribution. If you could speak that louder. Yeah.
After you.
But appreciate your contribution.
Anytime.
Anyone else want to make a timely contribution? Or I will proceed. So what happens is these three hormones are produced that make you feel happy, and then as per the research conducted by Michigan University, once you go for half hour workout daily for at least a month, it increases your attention span by at least 2 hours in one go. Since we all have the problem of short attention spans, I think this is going to be a solution problem. You need any?
Actually, I was listening to my son's voice.
So I would appreciate if everyone uses the mobile at the end of the training session.
No.
You have anything on phone to share with us? Then better to go with the training. Okay, we will have a chit-chat session at the end. And again, if anybody cannot hear me well, he or she can come forward. So this is a recipe to increasing your attention span as well.
Recipe is always for a food, and I guess the food is the best thing for anything. And it also help to for your dopamine, all these and all such things.
Point taken, 100% agreed. You know what's the difference between you and me when it comes to food? The difference is I work out after the food. But appreciate your contribution. And after that, I would like to highlight, you must be thinking to reap these benefits, how much you should work out, what place you should work out. At least I should be giving you the time, how much daily workout is necessary to reap these benefits. So as per the research, you don't have to run 20 kilometers a day, just like Usain Bolt, nor you have to pump 100 kilos of iron on your chest, just like Arnold SH. The only way you can reap these benefits, the simplest way is you just work out for 30 days, at least for 30 minutes a day, for at least 30 minutes a go. It's a combination of But I'm glad that now you can hear me. Yeah, that is how trainings are, in line with the interest. So maybe we will have chairs right there.
No, we were talking about
So before you land to the hospitals, before you head into the hospital, this is the path you need to take.
Right.
But I think your contribution. After adding masala, I would like to give charge to PM Pizza so that she can guide us through for masala. You can have a continuous.
That's so racist.
No, sorry, sexist. Yeah.
But you add masala, so that's a difference.
Hey, what do you mean you even cook? Like, what do you mean you even cook? What do you mean by that? That's very misogynistic and ageist and discriminatory and sexist.
Point was, despite I work, I cook. But what did you think it came to?
I thought that you saying that, yes, I'm a man and even,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh my. That was too much.
it sounded like that, right?
But was, even I work, still I cook. But I appreciate your mindset, Gideon. Anybody else has any significant important?
Yes.
I have a question. Raising his hand. Toastmaster Azad is raising his hand.
So Ali, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
So I
Yes,
was
we
saying
can.
that can I work out without tampering with my chemicals?
Tampering with my chemicals.
I think humanly that's not possible. But once I complete, maybe you will see if that's possible. For me, it has not been possible. So now we hold the contributions until the end. Does that work for all of you? Yes. Okay. So moving on to the like as I mentioned, you don't have to run 20 kilometers a day. You don't have to pump 100 kgs of iron on your chest. You just have to work out 30 minutes a day, and that is more than enough to reap the benefits. And ideally speaking, what should be the timing of the workout? It has to be ideally in the morning. So sharing my personal experiences, like whenever I work out in the starting of the day, I start my day fresh. I'm able to do my office duties in a better way. I'm able to do chores in a better way. And I'm even able to handle my relationship with my friends in an even better way. And interestingly, you don't have to confine yourself to the limits of the gym when it comes to workout. You can have a walk by the block, or maybe you can have a cycle to the work if that's feasible. I mean, in Karachi, it's not every time feasible. Then you even do the workout in your bedroom. If you don't have the time to go to the gym, preferably do it at the home, in the bedroom, and that should be at least when the bare minimum effort you should be putting in when it comes to workout. Now, I think the key is not in just understanding the benefits that exercise offers. It has a one step, you have to go one step ahead, and that is the key to reaping the benefits is consistency. So so now you know the benefits in a better way. It would be even better if you follow this routine, and then you take a step ahead and be consistent when it comes to working. If you guys have any question, I'm here for you.
If don't want to wake up in the morning because I work in night. So what should I do then?
Ideally, your good morning time is like 3 to 4 p.m. So at the start of your work day, you should go for the workout. And before you get to the work, you should do the workout. This will help you perform better at the job. Another question before we conclude? The bare minimum you can do is cut down the food. Like, I want you to live longer. That was point. So if you and everyone else in this session want to live longer, a happy, healthy life, the key is to start working out and be consistent, be regular in terms of working out daily. And again, the key takeaway is work out at the beginning of the day. That would help you more benefits.
Toastmaster Ali, is there something related to heart rate to it? Do we need to have a specific high heart rate for it?
Very good question. Glad you are interested. So it should be targeting the heart rate, and that would help you to get all those hormones, low belly fat, and a great routine. So I would now be concluding my speech with the quote. Although I have heard a lot of quotes on the workout.
Should we maintain that heart rate for a long period of time? For example, once I had a heart rate of 150 plus, and I showed it to the KTC group too. But is it healthy to maintain it all over that time? For example, you are saying 30 minutes. I guess if that happens, I'll go ended up in the hospital.
So if you have been through this, I would suggest you should consult your physician and then that would work better. Good question. But can we wait till the end and I conclude and then you go for the questions?
Look at him.
I don't think so.
Let's allow him to conclude now, everyone.
15 minutes. I'm saying you don't think. Okay. We will have a
Good one.
So, the most interesting quote I have gone through or related to workout is, you think you are busy for workout, you think you are not for workout. Either way, you are right. That's all from my side. Thank you.
You actually clap for yourself? Yes. No, we should all clap. You deserve the clap. Welcome back.
Doing the roast.
Welcome back to KTC.
I love it. KTC, the KTC. Okay, so that's all for the prepared speeches. Now we will be moving on to one interesting session, and that is going to be the targeted towards the people who haven't participated in the prepared speeches. It would be the table topic session. For that purpose, okay, before we move on to the next session, we will be circulating online poll.
Already circulated by our
and
vote
make sure
count.
everyone votes for the best speaker, and then we will have rest of the voting. And for now, we're moving on to the next session of table topics. The people will be invited in person and virtually to speak on their toes. And for that purpose, we have the table topic master.
Yes. Toastmaster Fest.
In your order of
Sorry?
law, I would
Yes,
welcome
yeah, we can.
Toastmaster to take the stage as a table topic master.
Yes. I know the topic for today and the theme for today is little habits. But then it's not only about the habits that we have, it's also about the bad habits that we have and how we change that. Because no one will get a second chance in his life or her life. But those who get it, how you are going to utilize. So I'm going to set a theme, which is a second chance for table topics. So for that, I'd like to invite PM Rana is not there. Then I would like to invite Fahim Razak. And the topic for him is
It's not giving time.
so the topic is if you could go back in time and you give a time. So if you could go back in time and give humanity a second chance to correct one major event, what would be and why?
Also remind word of the day, ripple.
What of the day?
Thank you, table topic master. If I can go back in time to change one thing for the betterment of humanity, well, I would want a whole list. But if there was one thing, I guess it will be the development of nuclear bombs. In fact, the research has been done time and again over this. There is still a ripple effect of those nuclear havoc that the US brought to Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki that we hear back in 1940s. That is still being reverberated throughout that region. And not only that, that has created that fear between countries. And there is this race to the bottom as to who stockpiles missiles, nuclear warheads, and stuff like that. And since that day, there is this race to amalgamate as many warheads, and this has taken away the focus from the money that we could spend on the humanity, for the betterment of the humanity, the time, the money, all the resources that the world has. We have spent billions and billions and billions and not only the money. Imagine who created the nuclear bombs and who is developing those nuclear bombs. All the intelligent heads from around the world, all the scientists. So that's what I will do. Go back in time, take away that nuclear option. Whoever brought the idea, take away that idea away from that person. And that will hopefully create the world a better place. With that, over to you, Thiru.
Thank you. It was a very good speech. And you have really, really good thoughts about the world, the humanity. Because the thought you have given about the nuclear, to be honest, there are a lot of people, millions of people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki just because of the nuclear bombing. So I think if we all get a chance, we can do that. Now, for the second table topic, I would like to invite virtually the person who joined virtually with us is Irfan Farooqi. And your topic is, imagine you woke up tomorrow and with a fresh start and a second chance you have at your life. What would you want to change in your life in terms of your habits, your decisions that you have made, and the priorities that you have faced previously?
Can I see the timer? Can the timer? Yeah.
So,
Timer, all
Irfan,
right.
we can. Okay, we can hear you.
Yeah. All right. I can see the timer as well. I was thinking, looking back at my life, what can be the something that I would need to change? And let me take it back to many years ago. It was a time when I was young. In heart, I believe I'm still young, but I'm talking about the physical body that was young. And it was a time my father was talking to me about my marriage. And he had certain proposals. Irfan, you can have an option. Look, this cousin of yours, this cousin of yours, this cousin of yours, and more to it. Just let me know if you have any choice of yours. Well, I said, no, I don't have any choice, and I don't want to select from my choice. I'll select somebody from the proposals available to you. And you know what happened? There were 4 possibilities. And I was so stupid, I selected only one. So if I get a chance to go back, I will select all the 4. I still believe why I was so stupid that I just accepted one. And let me tell you one more thing. You know why I'm talking so bravely? Because in the room, there is nobody except me. My wife has gone for the Isha prayer. The room is empty. And I'm so bold to talk to you like that. Back to you, tabletop master.
Thank you. Irfan Farooqi. So Irfan Farooqi would like to meet your father if you're alive. My father didn't give me this chance, and he just married. He just allowed this married a girl with me. I don't want change, and I don't want a second chance to change my life because I have two little daughters and I love a lot. Moving on to our next topic, and for that I would like to invite PM Imran Rana. And topic for you is how important it is for you to have a second chance in your life.
Table topic master. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. How would I feel if I get another chance? Let me tell you one thing, when we go to sleep and we woke up, we always get another chance. Another chance to become a better person, another chance to become a good citizen. But what we usually do, we always waste those chances. So what we should not do, we should not waste those chances. To try to think like that this is our last chance and we have to work very hard. Since if I see myself, I'm not a complete person in any respect. So, and I always get another chances. So what I should do? I should focus on my priorities to make things done, especially past many years I've not become a DT. And for the past many years, I've not completed my ACA. And by that too, because I did all my chances. So I should focus on that and I should work on that and I should try to complete ASAP as soon as possible. So over to you.
It's really important for you to have a second chance in your life. Going forward, fourth table topic speech is for Toastmaster Azaz. And the topic for you is a story for someone, or maybe it's about you, where you get a chance, or maybe someone else has get a chance, and he has created a major impact in his life. You have something like that you can share about you, or maybe someone you have seen.
Sorry, Toastmasters, there is a lot of noise on your end. Can you repeat the topic again and tell me if I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible.
You are audible.
Okay, perfect.
Now it's clear?
Yeah,
Am I
that's clear. Yes.
So your topic is share a story about you, or maybe someone you know who gets a chance in his life and has made a significant impact.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster. So
good. Can't hear.
Good. Can you hear me now?
No, Azaz, we can't hear you. Maybe just take off the earphones and then speak. That usually works.
No, but we can hear him. We can hear him.
Yes.
The online audience
can hear.
Just
You have a problem in your hotel. We online can hear it.
But
Can you
we
hear me
can.
now?
Yes,
Can you hear me
yes, now we can. Now we can. Go now.
Okay, perfect. So good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. So the topic today is I need to speak about the person that has made a significant impact on my life. So I will start with my mother. So she has been really impactful on my life because when I'm always down, she always motivates me and tries to make me feel upwards. And when I see her, I always feel a ripple of breeze when she speaks with me with my heart. And then I always feel motivated to do good things in my life. And I always want that she stays healthy and happy. So, and it's important to always have one important person with you in your life, whether it be a friend or anyone. So that's such a blessing to have. Over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
We all have a special person in our life, and this is very important for all of us. Now, moving forward to our next table topic is, now I would like to invite Toastmaster Mariam Aftab.
She's not available. We can.
She's not available.
She's not available. We can move on.
Now, then I'd like to invite GTM Saab.
Yes, I may. Yes, I may. I was online. I was on count.
So DTM Saab topic is we have discussed a lot about getting a second chance in our life. But another thing which is important is second chance, which is giving a second chance to someone else. And how you and what
Table topic master, Toastmaster fellow Toastmaster, yes. Is the perfect table topic for me because I've just experienced something like this just 2 weeks back. So my company was hiring 8 new content writers. So we have a very massive project and the management said that we need writers, bring in more writers. I was like, okay. So I sent out an application on my LinkedIn. I got many responses, and then one by one I started asking for their samples. Like I give them a topic to write about, they send that back to, and then I reviewed it. Most of the writers writers' content was not up to the mark. If I could have, I would have just felt like rejected, and at the end we would have had absolutely no writer joining our talk. So that's when I thought to give most of them the benefit of doubt, and then I started to interview them one by one. Slowly and gradually, some writers whose content was not up to the mark was because they were in an extreme hurry to stand back the test. So when I interviewed them, I took a retest of them. They were absolutely flawless, and out of those 10 people, five were hired, and those people are doing an exceptional job. So that's the benefit of giving people a second chance back to the table.
Okay. Then, the tabletop is now ends. Now I would like to ask with the TMOT again. Toastmaster Vijay to take over the stage. Thank you so much.
Can you ask Diana to, she wrote already for the table topic, maybe? TM Diana she wants to write. TM Diana, you can write it on your chat box so they will see it. You can write your table topic. Can you give a subject to her?
Yeah, sorry.
Can you give a topic to Toastmaster?
She has already,
Diana?
she has written something in the chat.
Actually, Toastmaster Diana has given her icebreaker in the chat box. We will read that out at the end of this session. So I don't think a topic needs to be given because we'll read her icebreaker. Yeah.
That's the end of the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
we can.
Okay. Reinforcing the end of the session. Before I move on to the next interesting session, there is a question for all of you. Workplace experience. Could you share the little habits that you follow to enhance your workplace experience? Anyone? Please. Third, network with everyone. Anyone else? Bonds flatter.
Everyone has to try.
What was that?
So, in organization, it's not only a culture of the experience, it's in giving this learning. So if you are giving this work and give it to something, you give strong knowledge on that. I'm giving you an example. I work from medical department. Like, yeah. Right now, HR. Okay.
Point is like you have to create a bond, a meaningful bond. If the people are not really good, in my opinion, it should be short and crisp, but the bond has to be there. And like one interesting thing I found to enhance the workplace experience, and even I also follow that, we have the tendency to create clutter on the workplace, the desk that we use for the daily job. And the best part is do the tests that you have on daily basis. By the end of the day, make sure you declutter your workspace. That will definitely enhance your experience. Now moving on to the next session for today's meeting, that will be a great learning curve for all of us. It will be the evaluation session. For this purpose, I would be calling upon the virtual stage DPM Sir Faraz Zanzir to place the evaluator. I hope we have them.
Yes. Yes, Toastmaster Diana, your icebreaker needs to be read. So while DTM Safraz joins, am I allowed to read out her icebreaker? Yeah. So, okay. Ripple, my life is a joy. That vacation with my dad took me to World Discan Island. Ripple, part of my whole in life. Ripple, and I had great time. My vacation. Ripple, my parents passed 20 years about of me disability per act stronger with lifestyle ripples. And she had also written earlier. Yes. Thanks, Toastmaster Madam. I came to the Toastmasters 29 years, this club meeting. I felt that speech has improved better Ripple. I feel that table topics has Ripple. With my disability, stronger inside of my skill, powerful as Ripple with my icebreaker speech Ripple, front people on online as Zoom Ripple, and I want to be a DTM leadership this Toastmaster Club Ripple group meeting, and I know that you use the chat box at Table Topics Ripple. Well, I do that speech so well. Front the Zoom Ripple. Thanks, Toastmaster Madam, Deanna, Mick, and Roy. Everybody, please give a big round of applause to our icebreaker. And we are blessed to have you, Toastmaster Deanna. Thank you so much.
That was a wonderful icebreaker. Word of the day, appreciable. So moving on to the evaluation part, we have Sir Faraz Aziz with us now.
Yeah.
Okay, in your breakdown of law, handing over the virtual stage to detail Faraz Aziz.
I didn't catch that word.
DTM Sarfaraz, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I didn't catch what he said.
Sorry, can you come again?
Yes, am I supposed to give the evaluation?
You are the journal evaluator, sir. And also, yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on.
Yes.
Yes, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, we now move into the third and final segment of our meeting, the evaluation, during which the evaluators will provide feedback to our speakers to let them know what they liked about their speeches and how they can improve their speeches. Our first speaker was Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Evaluating his speech, please welcome Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you so much, evaluator. I'm sure I'm audible and visible.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So fellow Toastmaster and guests, today Toastmaster Asghar delivered a project about patient transfer service. The object of this project is to manage a successful project. And the project was about providing a hospital services, medical services to the far-flung area. If I talk about the content of your speech, you covered everything in your content, and without humor, we cannot imagine your speeches without humor. So the humor was there, and you provided all the details regarding from the explaining the project to your seniors. Then you mentioned about the inauguration speech, then approval, then vendors part, and you presented the full project in a slideshow. So that was quite impactful. The project was also required to mention about the team players. That part was missing. I did not hear who are the team members and what were their goals regarding that. The areas of improvement which I would like to mention here is one of them is that if you delivering a speech which has a presentation, so you need to be ready with everything. Your presentation should be ready before starting your presentation, since almost a minute or a minute and a half were used while you were trying to upload your presentation. I would like to suggest one more thing here, that it is not necessary while delivering a presentation speech, you need to deliver the speech with a standing posture. You may sit and easily control laptop and run your slideshow. So you can do that as well. Second thing is, another thing was that your posture was not comfortable. Most of the time you were standing like this, as if you have a back pain. So maybe you need to work upon that. Overall, the content was very good. In a slideshow, it was quite helpful. Need to mention about the team players, what were their tasks. Maybe you could prepare yourself before the speech so that you can save the time as well. So these were the areas of improvement. Over to you, General Evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir.
It's a delay.
Evaluating his speech, please welcome DTM Sarfraz. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and especially you, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. Congratulations on completing your DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Project. Let me tell you what I liked about your presentation, and then I will give you a few suggestions for improvement. The purpose of my evaluation is not to evaluate the project that you completed, but to evaluate the speech you gave about your project. I like the fact that you were at ease. You were comfortable standing in front of the room giving your speech. I don't know why you were that comfortable. Is it because you have finished the project and you're saying, oh, thank God, it's over? Or whether you're thinking and dreaming soon when we introduce you, we'll be saying, DTM Ghulam Qadir or DTM GQ. Yeah, DTM GQ sounds good. The second thing I liked about your speech was you met the objective of your presentation. Tell us something about your project, and you did. You talked about the challenges that you faced in carrying out your project. You talked about the challenge of getting participants or contestants. You had 4 contestants to begin with. Then you ended up with 6 by the time the contest came on. You also mentioned that some of the contestants were not sure what they were supposed to do. And you provided some guidance. Now, I would love to talk about the contest itself, but that's not my objective. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut when it comes to evaluating the project, meaning the speeches. You also talked about the challenge of getting the chief judge, and you were able to mention not only DTM Talha, who agreed to be your chief judge after you had talked to the trio and they were not available. So you did mention how you went about your project. And you also provided some slides, photos of the contestants, and the pictures were clear. We could see the contestant. So that's great. Now, how can you improve? You started by telling us about pathways and slowly moving through the DTM requirements. The objective of your speech was talk about your project, not how and why you were giving the project. It was a lengthy opening about pathways and then talking to Toastmaster Imran Rana about the project. You could have just opened by saying, oh God, I'm so glad it's over. And we were wondering, hey, what's over? Then you go on, say this was my DTM project. And then if you like, you can go backwards, telling us how you got to that project from your pathways first and second. The second thing was your slides. I loved your slides, but there was a pause and distraction. because the person trying to show the slides was not ready. So next time, make arrangements ahead of time with them. I liked your speech because of your confidence. You talked about your challenges, and next time, open with some dramatic. Thank you for your speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you, DTM Sarfraz. And now we go on to the next evaluation. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Farhan Haider. Evaluating his speech, please welcome Toastmaster Wase Ahmed.
I can time you.
Good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Farhan was giving his project from Pathway Dynamic Leadership, Feedback and Evaluation, Speech 1. Toastmaster Farhan, I would like to say, first of all, welcome back. After a good time, welcome back. And to be very honest, after coming back after a good time and giving this speech was a good head start, I would say. Coming to your speech, the strong points, what I see was humor. You had self-deprecating humor in it. You put yourself in and then you told us about how you went into the ladies section and then you came out of the bus and then that bike ride and everything about that. What I saw was humor, and humor is always a great way to engage the audience. I could hear people in beach luxury laughing. So that was good. Another thing was how descriptive you were during your speech. You know, how you were telling about the bus and how even you were moving, your gestures were also quite on point. You know, when you were looking back, when you got out and everything. So you were moving in, I would say, quite rhythm with your story. So that was storytelling at, I would say, finest. The other thing I would like to say, the third thing is the structure of your speech. You made it according to the, what I would say, today, according to our theme. And it was a perfect storytelling. Now, onto the points to improve, I would say that you finished that story quite before the time. You ended up around the 4-minute mark. I think this could have been increased. Another thing was that you ended up with quotes. I don't know why, but usually ending up with quotes is not considered a good idea. Coming for the next speech that you have to give in, I would personally recommend you to give another storytelling speech, because I can see that it is your strength, and in that you could do is bring in a conflict of interest and tell us how you overcame that conflict of interest and what we can learn from it. This way it is going to lengthen your speech and it is going to fix that time thing. And rest, I would say, just be yourself. In that 3 minutes, in that around 4 minutes time, I guess everybody enjoyed your speech. So just work on the time and the length of your speech. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Wase Ahmed. You are also the next speaker. And if I remember correctly, you're also the timer. Thank you, Toastmaster Wase Ahmed, for following the KTC rule, one member, one role. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. Evaluating his speech, please welcome Toastmaster Asghar.
Thank you, Journal Evaluator. Toastmaster Wase was doing his project from Dynamic Leadership. The objective of the project was to apply skill needed to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organization. Toastmaster was mentioned his activity in September 2018 regarding an intra-school competition. It was an annual sports where he was supposed to volunteered himself to achieve certain objectives. And what I like is his speech, the way he divided his strategy and then implement stage, how he strategized thing and then how he implemented. And then he went on into the detail of the strategy stage, how he took suggestions from the people, how he negotiated them, how he deal with the trade-offs, with the other competing issues. And then he rightly mentioned the problems which was involved there, and the problem he, came the main point while talking about the problem, which was his interpersonal skills and the way he overcame these problems by using proxies by other people to do this job. It's a very intelligent way of doing things, but it is one of the way of blocking your way not to learning about the interpersonal skills. Hopefully he is now overcoming the same weakness in the club and taking full advantage of it. What I suggest for improvement, for even further improvement, is not moving. I can't. I didn't see you to moving from your place. From stage crafting is one thing which always help you to make your presentation effective. Secondly, maybe I'm wrong, but I was expecting a couple of pictures from your school, you with your colleagues or something from the annual competition to visualize the situation, how you make those the strategies and the implementation of these activities in a way. So overall, it was a good speech, or in a good way of presenting yourself as a volunteer. And you convinced all of us that you are a very good volunteer, and now you are here to overcome the problem that you face during your volunteerism. That is the interpersonal skills. This is the end from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohammed Asghar. Our next speaker was distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum. Evaluating his speech, please welcome all the way from Kuwait, Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. Toastmaster Latif.
The correct way to summon Toastmaster Latif is to ask, where is Latif?
Yes. Where is
Actually, it's one of his famous speeches. But
yes,
right now,
maybe
let me try to message him.
Take the idea. If not, we'll go on to the next evaluator. Oh,
there is Leslie, I told you.
Yeah, don't kick the idiot.
Wow.
That's the title of his speech. That was his famous speech.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about his speech.
Timer, am I?
Yes, you're good to go.
Yeah. Thank you, General Evaluator. My today's speech was to evaluate our distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum. He was doing his visionary communication at level. This is his first level second speech, but don't take him away from this level 1 second speech, because he is already a well-established speaker. Now, I felt that this project was all about the understanding of how to develop a speech. For example, the intro, the body, and the final conclusion.
I will go completely blunt in my my evaluation, because I felt a seasoned Toastmaster, Ali Ashar Anjum, could have done many better in his speech. His speech had good values. For example, the message where it was to respect the time up front we have. Second, he was very energetic. His voice was very clear to the audience, interacting, eye contact, everything was picture perfect when it comes to distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum delivering a speech. He is a champion speaker. While having his speech, I understand that he went too much of making us explain about what is the value of time, what happens if we don't realize the time in hand, giving examples of more about making the value of time. In fact, he could have made a lot better to give example and make it more valuable on the loss of his things which he lost. For example, he lost his cricket. He came to the point very like without any delay. He just said that my parents asked me to choose one and I lost my cricket. He could have added some drama in that was something close to him and he lost it. Still, when he looked at the match, he remembered that my father and my parents have given me that option, like either to choose one thing. Why I'm saying this? Because if you are putting it to an audience about valuing the value of time, you should value that what is lost and what you have achieved. So if you would have stayed in that cricket and said, I lost cricket, but still obeying my parents' decision, I am today in Rome, giving my higher studies a big value. And this is what I have achieved. It is all about impact. Secondly, a poet of DTM Ali Ashar Anjum's caliber, I feel that it should be a poet of what has been lost and achieved. In 2-3 rhyming words, for example, I could not be at Rome and in Karachi. I could not be at on the cricket field and the education, but I am what I am today. For example, you could have added anything on your poetry and you have that kind of caliber. Secondly, very important, you abrupt your speech the moment you saw the red light. So I felt that you could have added more value as a takeaway message instead of bringing it all into one line. Last but not the least, you were a very confident speaker. You had all the values and expression during the speech. Just a little modification on the topic of my cricket and what you have achieved would have made a big difference to the speeches. We always love listening to your speech and hope to see more and more speeches of yours in future projects. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. Our next speaker was distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. And evaluating his speech, please welcome Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, DTM for surprise. With some trepidation, beautiful, sharp-suited, well-groomed, expensively suited. When you have opening statements like this, together with the relevant body language and vocal variety, you know you are in for some treat. And we did have a treat, didn't we? Great creativity right from the start when DTM Talha took over the stage. And the creativity started with his title, The Secret Brotherhood. No one could have imagined that it was going to be about conversation between two bears. And that's what we had. And then you have the dialogue between his bear and that imaginative bear that he had. Excellent, excellent creativity. I don't think that must have taken you some time. If it was me, When you have a speech, it's very, very important. Everybody says, oh, you have to sprinkle it with humor. But how hard it is, we don't know. Okay? But it wasn't hard. When we witnessed DTM Salah saying it the way he said it, and I'm just going to quote some statements here. Maulana Saab had gone to sleep, missed the Jamaat, and then we talked about it for 15 minutes. Things like this and many, many more statements, but the way he said it, sprinkled it with humor. And then obviously right at the end, he had the message as well for us. The people stereotypes there, right? They're associated with terrorists and whatnot. And even when they accept it, they still have comments like, oh, it's too short or too long. And even people who don't have beard, they have comments on people who have it. Right? So everybody just wants to go on a bandwagon when you have a beard. And I've been experiencing it over the last year. Now, I hate to say when it comes to development points, I hate to say that, oh, I don't really have anything to offer because it was so great. Because it comes across as lazy or if somebody was not listening to it, right? It's very easy to say that.
Mind the beard.
I really had to struggle with it. And then I came up with one thing. Why not have a prop where you had a beard? I know it must have been a little bit of challenge to find it, but maybe have a beard, put it on your hand,
Okay.
and then you have a dialogue with the beard.
That's a good idea.
Even more. But
That's
even
a good
without it, you did great. But that was just one thing I would add to it. Post. With that, over to you, Janet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Ali Hussain. Evaluating his speech, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Ali Asher Anjum.
And today he was the targeted speaker for the digital audience. He was very pertinent topic to address the health and well-being. And throughout his speech, he didn't quit, and that's a great thing because with this level audience, how you deal with the audience. The key thing that I love that you use humor, and that is an amazing technique because humor is for that instant humor, you need a sense of humor. So that's a great technique, and then sometimes you also ignore the description, and sometimes you politely get the opinion of the audience. But whenever we have that things of opinions of disruptors, we usually we lost the time. So we can use either instinct humor or some other things. Yeah. You was struggling with your eye contact because you was seeing the screen instead of the camera. So you can improve this thing, and I would love if you start your speech with something analytic that help us to engage, and that is also going to decrease our enthusiasm and make your speech more difficult. You can also use the stage and point out the audience with your eyes, so they will not have a chance to disturb. So this can be done. You have a good hand gestures and a very good technical knowledge and some very good methods to tackle the audience. Overall, it was a wonderful project. We all learn a lot and enjoy it. So congratulations for completing a very lethal project.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Asharanjum. That concludes the evaluations of the prepared speeches. At this time, I would like to invite Toastmaster Fizar Aziz to please provide evaluation of the table topic speeches.
All Toastmasters. First of all, very well speeches to all the table talkers and the prepared speech. It was a very interesting theme of small habits that matter. Of course, we all have some small habits that we can't change by ourselves. They do matter. So I'll start my evaluation by first my favorite theme. Very good opening, very smooth opening. A lot of knowledge you had. And there were some places that you were kind of nervous, but you covered up really good. And as usual, you were amazing. Even, I mean, evaluating you is like, wow, I'm evaluating you. This Irfan Faruqi, I want to say, interesting speech we have into all the time. And it was very human, very organized. It was like a story for me. I mean, I was really visualizing what he was trying to say. And it was really good. Then we have Imran sir. Muting you. Muting me. It is a big deal for me because I mean, he's like, awesome, you know. I just want to say, sir, started really great. You were a bit nervous, but you covered up like funny, but you were collecting your thoughts also. But you were, as usual, very funny, very humorous, and you were very organized in your thoughts. And what you said was really correct, by the way. I agree with you on all the terms. So you did really good, and it's an honor to evaluate you. And then we have Fazaz, I think he's the guest speaker.
No, he's a member. Yeah.
Sorry, first. Very good.
Explain Izaz. Yes, he's online.
Also used the word of the day, which is really good. He had a good flow, but I would like to say that please, when you're looking in the camera, just look in the one direction because I could see you, but you were like everywhere. So you were, I know it gets nervous, even I get. Then we had Sad. Oh my God, you had a good opening here. And flow is really good. It was really informative. It was a bit lengthy, but it was interesting. So good on you. So everybody did a good job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fizar Aziz. And now I will ask the role players or facilitators to provide their reports. We'll start with the grammarian and word master, Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you so much. I'm sure I'm audible.
Yes.
Great. Okay, about the grammarian report, today we observed very good language, flawless language, but there were few errors which I would like to mention here. Someone knew who was the judging it. Who was the judging? Or it could be who was doing judging. Someone used which we always remember until we alive. It could be better used as which we always remember as long as we used they were laughing to me. It could be better if it said like they were laughing at this. Education or the cricket, the correct is education or cricket. When we lost it, the correct one is when we lose it. There were some present tense and past tense errors. Suppose I cannot be in Karachi and Rome in a single time. It would be better said, I cannot be in Karachi and Rome at the same time. There were some amazing rules little sentences like I wanted to disappear into a thin air, then time is not the spare resource, and there was some good vocabulary by Master Wasif and Group Master Abdul. Word of the day was rebel, and it was used by DTM Ali Ashar Anjum, DTM Samha bin Ahmed, and DTM Sanskrit also used word of the day. Unfortunately, I was not mostly present in table topics, so I couldn't find it. So over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Next, please welcome Toastmaster Asghar. He was our counter. And like Toastmaster Wase, he was a speaker, evaluated a speech, and he also performed the duties of a facilitator. So thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar.
Thank you, Journal Evaluator. I would like to start from GQ. I think I tried to find something but failed, except 1, 2, then, and 1, so. I think they were not as necessary as were used during the speech. Farhan either just to her, I noted down. TM Ali Asnain, there was some so's, so 3 or 3.5. No, 3. There is no half when it comes so. And to her, DTM Tala tried to hide every filler word in his vocal variety. Unfortunately, I did not get any of filler words from his speech. Fahim Razak, very much fluent. I did not find any words from him except to and from TM Imran during his table topic speech, 2 and 1 so, I think were unnecessary. And this is the end from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar. Our listener was Toastmaster Fahim Razak. Please welcome Toastmaster Fahim Razak to see how well we were listening.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, ladies and gents. So, little quiz. What was the title of Toastmaster Asghar's speech? Know the answer.
Patient transfer service.
Patient transfer service. Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
Education must. Yeah, that's the point. Who was thrown off the bus?
Farhan.
And why?
Because he sat in the ladies section.
By the way, what? Or you just do that, you just like it. According to Toastmaster Ali Asnain, what activity could help us increase our focus by 2 hours?
Hanging like a bat, upside down.
There were lots of things, but what I noted was doing a jogging or a walking about half an hour a day. So, right? 30 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, made it correct. Apologize.
Let's see.
You.
How long it took TMGQ to complete his first pathway?
Forever.
6 months.
1 year.
6 months.
6 months
I
for the
say
first
forever for me. When he was completing second pathway, he became an extra member. That's noted. What are the 2 things TM Imran would do if he gets a second chance.
And complete his DTM.
Sorry, Imran. Who was DTM Talha having an imaginary conversation with in his video? Where are we all stuck / trapped as per DTM Ali Asharan?
Time and space.
Time and space. And that brings the report to an end. Over to you, Kennedy.
Great.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. I think that concludes our facilitator reports. I'm not going to evaluate the evaluators, just a general remark that all evaluators provided positive feedback along with some suggestions for improvement. For example, Toastmaster Wasay Ahmad saying that you should use a story. I have a comment about the evaluation of DTM Talha's speech given by Toastmaster Fahim Razak. Toastmaster Fahim Razak, I was expecting a tall tale evaluation. Since you are the reigning tall tale champion of the club. We'll leave it up. I'll leave it up to DTM Talha to figure out if that was a true evaluation or if he was telling a tall tale. We have been lately starting the meeting on time. Today we were late because of technical difficulties at the facility. But I've noticed that when the Karachi Toastmaster Club Express train leaves Karachi Kent Station, if it's behind schedule, we make sure that not only it stays behind schedule, that it gets further and further behind schedule. So today is no different. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter what time we end. What's important is that we had 7 speakers, 5 to 7 minute speeches, including one that was 10 to 12 and managing a difficult audience. I am sure that DTM Talha bin Hamid and DTM Imran Rana have sat through many manage a difficult audience projects. Is that true, DTM Talha?
Yes.
And, we make it a fun, interfere with that. Sometimes we interfere more than once, cause a distraction, even though the write-up about the project says just distract or interfere or be difficult at one time. Unfortunately, some of the distractions that we do, they are not real, because in real life, it's going to be different. Different. Give you an example. Many years ago, I was a keynote speaker at a meeting of a management association. The meeting was held at a restaurant. It was about 45, 50 minutes speech. During the restaurant had a separate side room. That's where we were speaking, but it was not closed, like the room where you are at this moment. It was open, and on the side, there was a table, and the manager of the restaurant decided to put some guests. A couple was, along with their friends, were there to celebrate their anniversary. And they started drinking, and after they had a few, they were talking loud. And when I heard that, the distraction, I raised my voice. The more noise they made, the higher my volume was. I was not going to stop my speech or say, hey, go and do it. I kept on. And afterwards, instead of the host of our meeting, they went and complained to the manager that the speaker was too loud. And he gave them one of the wine bottles that he had given. He gave them as a freebie. So they walked off with something that they didn't expect to. But my major distraction came right a few weeks after 9/11. I was at work one morning. I received a call from a United States Army general. And he said, we have an organization, Order of World Wars. So all the military personnel, and we would like to invite you to be the keynote speaker, which was about a 1-hour presentation. And they asked me to speak about Islam, the concept of jihad, and terrorism. So I gave my speech, and usually I do not let the audience ask questions during my speech. The way I present is give my presentation, then have questions and answers, and then I'd never end on question and answers. I always take the control of my presentation back again and then provide the conclusion. They had nice questions. I gave my answers. There was one lady, she was determined. I think she had decided beforehand, she was going to make me agree to her notion of philosophy that Islam and terrorism are one and the same. And she kept on repeating the same question, and I gave her an answer in different ways. Finally, to make a stop, one time she didn't accept my answer. She asked the same question, but she was ready to give a speech. So I just kept quiet, let her talk. She kept on talking, and then the audience interfered and made her shut up. They said, he has already answered your questions. So it'd be nice if we had a project where we come up with some real distractions that a speaker might face, especially speaking. You know, we don't hear that much in Toastmasters. Most of the distractions or disturbances are going to come. For example, one time the lights went out. In this case, the speaker decided not to stop speaking. He just then kept on talking. Hey, were the lights on? This is what the slide would have shown. And people loved it. So there's different ways how to distract. We had a great meeting. As always, Karachi Toastmasters has several speakers. We have also several tabletop speakers, and we provide evaluation of the tabletop speakers. Many clubs do not do evaluation of the tabletop speeches. And that's great. And I was joking about that, starting later time, it does not matter within a few minutes if we start. But the best thing is that people are giving speeches, they're growing and improving. And one thing I've noticed about KTC is that our contests are held outside the club meeting. Very few clubs do that. All contests are held within the meeting. In place of the meeting, they'll just have the contest. So this way our meetings are not disturbed. We continue to have a meeting and have a contest on a different day. I would especially like to thank Toastmaster Imran Rana, Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamad, and soon to be Distinguished Toastmaster GQ for the wonderful job that you did in organizing the Tall Tales contest. And especially special thanks to the contestants, which included our three winners, Fahim Razak, Karim Meghani, and Faiza Aziz, along with three other contestants. And so 6 contestants. GQ, you mentioned that you had 4. I have been to area contests in other districts where the area contest had just 1 or 2. Last year in the international speech contest in District 50, some of the area contests were combined because there were not enough contestants. 1 each, so they combined the 2 areas and they had 2 contestants. 4 is not bad, and 6 is darn good to have 6 contestants in a club level speech contest. And I'm assuming that if there's a district tall tales contest, the first place and second place winner will represent our club at the area 1. Is that correct, DTM Talha? If the district decides to have that.
Yes, but the district has not decided which contest will it have yet. Yeah.
And then I guess on Saturday, there'll be a very, very special announcement to be made by Toastmasters International at the convention in Bahamas. And I would like DTM Talha bin Hamad to say a few words about it. I think you've already mentioned in the post where one time in the past, even though Toastmasters International wants us to keep quiet about it till the announcement. So if you want to say a few words, then go ahead, DTM Talha.
Why do you want me to say a few words in particular?
Okay. Oh,
all right.
Okay. The reason is, I guess you were you've been the VP Education for several years now, and the speech contests come under the preview of the Vice President of Education Club. And you were responsible for holding the contest, International Speech Contest, and then making sure that the video of the winner was sent to Toastmasters International. And the video has to meet certain requirements, otherwise they disqualify the speech. So for someone to place in the top 3 in the entire universe, the kudos to the speaker, but also I would like to kudos to the club and kudos to VP Education, DTM Talha, and that's the reason I mention it to you. But if you really want to know also that she is near and dear to your heart, she is part of your life. So you are the best person to say a few words.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfraz. For me, yes, in fact, I did end up perhaps sending all 4 speeches. And yes, as you noted, I've been VP Education since forever. And that's not because of any particular qualities on my side, but because simply no one else steps forward. But during my tenure with KTC, I've seen Toastmaster Imran Rana as VP Education. Perhaps he has been the most successful VP Education and the club president in our history. We have seen Toastmaster Rusa Kanwar as VP Education as well. And I would credit them both also with the growth of club's members. I think one thing that we were able to do, and we did years ago, was to introduce the Critics' Choice Award. And that has played a major role because over the years, we have gradually ensured that all our speeches, no matter which project they're following, are contest ready. And the speakers also step into the field with that mindset that even if we don't win the popularity award, perhaps we can win on the merit as a speech. And that has added tremendously to the motivation. Yes, there have been some setbacks on the way. Let me be the first one to admit that. One would think that we routinely sweep area contests and then somehow falter when we get to the division, and at the district stage, we are hardly ever present, except for the fact that we have finished in podium for 2 of the 4 years that we've participated. And that's a paradox, but as luck would have it, any such setback is always more than compensated when the results for the video speech contest come in. So I would just say that, and I mean this with all my heart, that we've had some meetings, in fact, most of our meetings, our routine speakers, our routine speeches on average are, as a set, are better than sometimes even the area and the division contest. It's just due to the mechanism of Toastmasters where most of the speakers get cut and only maximum 2 speakers make it to area and division level, and they may or may not perform their best on a particular day. But anyone who has attended KTC meetings perhaps would testify that our regular meetings, the set of 7 or 8 speakers, are as good as speech contests. And for that, I'm profoundly grateful. And that's the real difference that we are making in the lives of our members. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And since I was talking about the video, I guess we have new members who might not know what a video contest is. Nearly all districts have international speech contests, which goes from the club level to area to division to district. Then the videos of district contest winners, the first place winners, are sent to Toastmasters International, where the judges judge those, and that's considered quarterfinal. 28 are selected to participate in the semifinals, 2 from each region. There are 14 regions in Toastmasters International, making 2 winners from each region makes it 28 contestants. Those 28 contestants are put in 4 different semifinals, 7 each. The semifinals will be held this coming Thursday. And then, unlike past when the first place, second place, third place winner was announced, now Toastmasters International will only announce the names on the top 2 speakers in each semifinal. They won't say who was first or who was second. The top 2 speakers from each semifinal, making a total of 8, will then compete this coming Saturday in the World Championship of Public Speaking, where in the semifinals, the speakers have the option of staying home and participating online or coming to Bahamas in person and being a part of the contest. Last year, there were 6 online speakers. 4 of them advanced to the World Championship, and 22 were in-person speakers, and 4 from the 22 advanced to the World Champion. This time out of 28, there are only 3 that are online. 25 of them will be in person at the convention. The schedule can be found on toastmasters.org. Click on events and then click on the convention, and you will see the schedule and so on. Also tonight, this evening, Eastern time, there will be Hall of Fame where districts will be recognized. The District 122 will be part of it. Raise your hand if you're planning on watching the Hall of Fame. I know there's some of you in the room, some have said. Now, I will contact you later on, DTM Talha. I would like anyone who wants to participate, you can go in and register for the free access, because that includes Hall of Fame. Yeah. And then I'll talk to you, see if we can stream it instead of watching individually. Everyone watching, some members in different districts are doing that. And I'll talk to you and see, I'll set up the Zoom meeting and see if we can stream it so people can watch it at home, but instead of having individually sign in, we just sign in into our own Zoom meeting. And please vote for the best evaluator if you have not done so. Please also vote for the best facilitator if you have not done so. And also, please vote for the best of the Big Four. The Big Four are the Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Ali Hussain Babar, Table Topics Master, TM Faz, Table Topics Evaluator, Toastmaster Fiza Aziz, and General Evaluator, DTM Sarfraz. And DTM Talha from VP Education, any announcements, or would like to ask who wants to take one of the Big Four roles for the next meeting?
Yes, certainly. Who would want to be the Toastmaster of the day for the next meeting?
That's Phil.
Oh, that's Phil. Oh, wow, that's Phil. Okay.
And also the Table Master as well.
Okay, so 2 of the Big Four are already filled. Okay, Toastmaster Imran Rana, Table Topics Evaluation. And what about General Evaluation? Not you, sir.
No,
yeah. Okay, much better. All right. So, okay, who would be the grammarian? Let's utilize the opportunity. Yeah. So, okay.
Are you going to
Anniversary. Yeah. All right, we need a grammarian for the next meeting. Who would like to step up? Toastmaster Fiza, would you like to do the grammarian?
Teamwork.
Oh my, wow. All right, all right. So, Vasai, how about you? You have good vocabulary. You are hereby pronounced the grammarian and word master. All right.
Yeah, he's got a big smile, so he's ready for it.
Yeah, who will be the timer? Let me look around. Toastmaster Babar looks to be very eager.
I will take the fill-in role. I will not be attending.
Sorry?
So if I come over, I will take the fill-in role.
Okay, let me just mark you down all the things. All right. So, sir, I think we can fill up the rest of the roles.
Yeah, most of that.
The most painful ones are taken.
And before we announce the results, I would invite Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi for his comments.
Thank you very much for inviting me for the comments. What I would say is one thing needs improvement as always, I point it out, people who are speaking from the room, their voice is very, very low. And you need to have a mic, collar mic or something like that, because all people who are talking virtually, their voice is loud and clear. And I have a headphone in my ear. Despite of this headphone, it becomes at certain time nearly very difficult to listen what the people are saying in the hall. Whenever I am myself over there, it is very convenient to listen what people are saying. But when I'm listening to you away from there, it becomes difficult. So this is just one request that you should please follow it so that we enjoy the proceedings fully and we learn more from it. Thank you.
You do something about it.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Toastmaster Farhan Faruqi. Maybe we can have the speakers stand a little bit closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Azaz, if you would like to offer a comment.
Thank you, DTM Sarfraz. So that was the same comment that I had that I already shared about the mic setup. So TM Irfan covered it, and yeah, that was the main concern.
Thank you, appreciate it. And we also have guest Deanna McEnroy, and her icebreaker and her response to table topics has already been read. Mr. Vote Counter, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead and announce the list of the winners.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for following up for that long.
There was no one on stage, all right?
Oh, just a second, Toastmaster Saad, before you announce, correction, Toastmaster Deanna says that she also used the word ripple, not only once, but several times.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that's true, she used it. And her comment is that the meeting was very good. Thank you, Toastmaster Deanna, for joining us and being a part of our meeting. Over to you, DTM Saad.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Yes, now the time we've all been waiting for. Who won the best speaker role? Best prepared speaker goes to a very tough battle. And yes, for the tough battle, goes to Toastmaster Vase M.
Wow.
What is an achievement given the amazing lineup of speakers we had. So well done. Toastmaster Vase, the best debate topic speaker. Thank you very much. Toastmaster Mariam Aftab for not being there for the table topic, so that someone else can actually raise the best table topic. And yes, the best table topic goes to me.
That's right.
We want to recount.
Yes. Prepared speak evaluator goes to, after a very tough battle, it goes to distinguished Toastmaster Ali Sharanjam. Role Builder Award, Role Player Award goes to Toastmaster Imran Rana. And the Best Big Four Award goes to, and again, that was a tough battle. It goes to, no, it was a tough battle. and no, that wasn't retired, just to be clear. And it goes to the comeback man, Toastmaster.
Oh.
Thank you, DTM Saad. And I'll now like to announce.
Wait.
But okay.
It's a speaker or? Wait. But it was read before as well. Just give So just,
Okay.
Change the microphone now because the meeting is about.
yeah, okay.
Same as.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Here are the winners of the Critics' Choice Award based on based on the international speech contest criteria and also how well the speaker met the objectives of the Pathways project. In third place, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Asher Anjum. Congratulations. Second place, Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. Congratulations. And in first place, drum roll, please. Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Final call for any announcement. Anyone wishes to say something before we adjourn the meeting? Hearing none, the meeting is now officially adjourned.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for the patience. Thank you, Mr. President, and see you all again very soon. In fact, see you all at the convention virtually.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. See you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.